Mary,
And,
Mary, would you mind repeating that one more time? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure it was captured.
Sorry, I didn't even ask you.
You're good.
So this is the mayor-manager meeting on Wednesday, October 7th at 8:02 a.m. And in the room is Jade Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, Stephanie Carlisle, Allison McKinney-Brown, and Shawn Lewis, and Linda Olson. Right? Did I get everybody? Nathaniel Sierra. Did I say? Yeah.
You did.
Okie doke.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Easier than Tuesday morning, I must say.
Yes, I agree. So we'll start with October 12th. We've got two study session items. One is the briefing regarding the former Weingarten property recommendations. And the second is the ethics code for the city. And it looks like we've already assigned time limits. Just want to go over those. 30-minute presentation, 45-minute discussion on Weingarten, and then 20-minute presentation and an hour discussion for the ethics policy. Does that sound all right?
Yeah. I haven't totally read the ethics policy yet, so I am not sure if it's going to cause any. I started it. I don't know if anybody, Nathaniel, if you think it's going to be needing more time or not.
I haven't read it. I don't think it's going to need that much time, to be honest with you, but because, well, I guess we have a new council now. Yeah, the last
I think it'll take that much time.
You think so?
I think there'll be some conversations around different examples of testing it out.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong, we have more time.
That's right. You guys
We're getting done early. I shouldn't say that. We've been getting done earlier.
Yeah. All right, moving on to October 19th, we have presentation of the citizen survey results. I did send Mayor a handful of study session topic recommendations. So this is one where we could plug one of those in, but maybe we can talk about that at the end.
Sure. Yeah.
And then the first regular session item is a motion to recommend an award of a contract to HS3. That's for cameras at the Service Center and Civic Center. And then we also have a motion for approval with Keystone Landscape Services, Inc. for Eve Snow and Ice Services. An award of a contract to TerraCare for Eve Landscaping and Grounds Maintenance. And an award for contract engineering design services, and that's in Public Works. And approval of a contract with Vets Securing America for unarmed security services at Eve. And then bill for an ordinance first reading, stormwater rate increase ordinance, bill for a ordinance first reading, sewer rate increase. And then we have another first reading of the school district joint IGA. And Allison, did we ever get the attachment on that?
We did, and that's uploaded and it is circulating for approvals now.
Okay. And then we have another first reading of the model traffic code. Second reading of the budget, second reading of the appropriation, and second reading for the mill levy, which I think that one was unanimous, so that one could go on consent, I believe.
Yep.
The appropriation was not, though, was it?
Nope.
Okay. And then we have second reading on fire code, floodplain regulations, South Platte Renew budget, South Platte Renew appropriation, building code, electrical code, conservation code. I'm going faster than Jade can scroll. Gas code, mechanical code, plumbing code, property maintenance code, and residential code. And I do think all of those were unanimous.
I think so too. So those can all go on. The only ones that can't are the budget.
The two budget items.
And the appropriation for the budget, right? Or there's three of them.
No, there was two.
Mill levy. The mill levy and then the two budgets?
No, actually, the only two that were 6-1 were the first two, the budget and the budget appropriation.
Oh,
South Platte
Oh.
Renew and their appropriation and the mill levy, I believe were all.
Here, I can glance.
That's my recollection.
I have one written down for the mill levy. I might be wrong in that, but let's double check.
Yep, I'm just looking right now. Of course, when you look for it, you can't find it right away.
I know, I'm trying to get to it as well.
Which council bill is that? 35?
Yes, 35.
Oh, you're correct, Mayor. It was 6-1. So the first three were 6-1, and then it was 7-0 on South Platte Renew, both items.
Yeah. Good.
All
Good
right.
catch, Mayor.
We
Yeah,
will not question your recollection of
sometimes
votes.
No, we will not.
Sometimes I catch them. I did write these down this time because I knew it was going to make a big difference, so that's good.
I did want to clarify about the Keeson Landscape Service as well as Terra Care. These are previous contracts, but I was not sure if you would prefer them on consent or if you'd prefer them off.
Yes, I believe these are renewals, so, or the same company that we used last year anyway.
Let's just put them on consent. Do you have a problem with that, Daniel?
I don't.
Someone wants to pull them, they can.
All right. Moving on to the 26th of October, we'll have the 2020 financial review, study session to review utility billing software selection, US 85 PEL study, 2021 integrated snow response plan. I learned yesterday this is actually will be part of our emergency response plan as well.
What is?
Response plan. Yeah, our snow response plan is actually part of because one of our hazards in Colorado and Inglewood is, winter storms. So this is actually becomes part of our emergency management plan.
Oh, nice.
Title 7, Chapter 7, Public Aid, Mutual Aid, Emergency Response. So mutual aid with what our policy is for mutual aid with other agencies. And that rounds that meeting out. Moving on to the 2nd of November, we've got the Inglewood trolley discussion. And we did get some word from a staff meeting with RTD that they're looking at a 40% reduction across the board for most services, including these partner agreements. So fingers crossed, Mayor, thanks for your outreach to Jeff, our RTD director, on that. But we're thinking if it does get funded, it might be reduced. So we're still waiting to get that final number.
Oh, he thought the ridership was so strong in there that it would not at all be cut.
We are very hopeful that he's correct.
Okay.
Motion to approve utility, no, that's just the approval of utility billing software contract with Cogsdale. Easement agreement with Colorado Water Conservation Board for Big Dry Creek Diversion Project. And public hearing on a vacation of right-of-way in the kind of internal to Swedish Medical Center.
Can we have a public hearing on having a vacation?
I
Okay.
assume you mean a
Yes.
personal vacation.
Yes, we can.
Maybe we don't need a public hearing. We just need to take a vacation. No, we had one in September.
November 9th, you guys will be doing board and commission interviews that night. And November 16th, motion to approve contract with MV Transportation. That's the operator of the Inglewood trolley. They have expressed that they'll work with us regardless of what comes back on the funding from RTD. We've got a public hearing on a vacation of right-of-way at South Grant, 3649 South Grant, and first reading of the vacation of the right-of-way at Swedish. I think that would be second reading, wouldn't it?
That would
Yeah.
be the first reading.
Oh,
Be following the public hearing.
Oh, thank you. Good call. All right. November 23rd is October financial review, economic development update. This is one that Planning and Economic Development went ahead and plugged in. Came out of your survey of your study session items. No, December 7th, we have first reading vacation right away of the grant right away. And that's all we've got plugged in so far. And I wanted to check with you all if you will be having your 28th of December. Krista remembered that you guys usually didn't have it. That's probably why it's not on the calendar. Is that correct?
That's usually correct, yeah.
You don't meet on the 28th.
We don't come back till January.
All right.
But
Well,
we do it.
if it's okay with you all, since we have a few minutes, Mayor, and we did have one council request that's already been turned in, and that is the mechanisms for recording those one-on-one meetings that staff might have with with any council member regarding city center redevelopment. So Brad and Dan Primber are working on a plan for that.
That's great, thanks.
I did also want to interject. There was some talk of possibly having the calendar recognition where we would invite students and everybody whose calendars got or whose pictures got chosen for the city calendar. We were thinking about possibly doing that on December 7th. Is that something you would be open to, and would you be open to doing it a similar formatting that we did with recognition last time, or is there anything else that you would prefer to do?
Oh, let's definitely recognize them. And gosh, it would be really nice if it was so are we going to do anything else with them? Like an evening, like some kind of virtual evening like we did before? We didn't do it before. I mean, we used to have an in-person recognition of them. Is Krista planning anything like that, or communications? Maybe we can't do that this year. It would be.
I know communications is currently working on it. I can bring up the idea to them. However, I'm not sure 100% what all they are planning.
Yeah, just tell them that I'm glad to be a part of anything. Although I would not be in favor of something in person, putting all those kids together and then making it difficult for them to possibly go back to school. But if there is something planned, I'm really glad to help again. It was very fun.
I will pass along the message. Are we okay with bringing them to council on the 7th?
Yes, I am.
Great.
We'd also like to get the board and commission handbook review or revisions on the schedule. And so we were just trying to think, we want to make sure that city attorney's office has time to put their piece together. And I know there's a few other key elements that are going to be brought forward on that. And I think the thought was to do a study session. Allison, is that how you envisioned it, as well as a study session just to review and make any changes that we may need to do?
Absolutely. I do think we're going to need to start with a study session to go over proposed updates, and the members of the council may have additional updates they want. And then a couple weeks after the study session, we should be able to bring back an updated version. And I'm glad that you're setting that out into November, because I really want an opportunity to hear back from the council liaisons about what the different boards and commissions might have to say about those updates as well.
So will someone be making sure that it's going before the boards and commissions for them to look at it, that it's on their agendas to look at it?
Yeah, we can definitely coordinate that with the staff liaisons to make sure that that gets on upcoming agendas between now and then.
That's great. I could see us getting the study session stuff all done by December and then bringing it back in January. Does that seem?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Is that too far out? Or December, we often have a lighter schedule in general, so I don't know if that'll be true this year, but
It appears that way from the study session agenda, but
we are 2 months out.
right. We always have.
Oh my gosh, can't even believe I'm saying we're 2 months out from December.
Well, Mayor, if it's all right with you, can we just take a gander at the study that you guys did? I'll just pull that up on your screen. Can you see that? So you can see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you may remember at the end of September, you all took a survey. So we just wanted to show you the categories that had either 75 or 100% folks voting for them. And so these were the topics. What we did then was combine some of these. And so I wanted to just go over kind of the plan. So I'm gonna stop sharing that for a second and switch over to the
A lot of it's on traffic and calming, and this actually meets the what's the little tagline for DRCOG on zero deaths? I can't remember what it is, but
Vision Zero, I think it is.
Zero. Yeah, this would really fall in line with that, and we've talked about that this summer again. But it's really up to the local communities to really push hard on it.
Right. So this was after I talked to you all at this meeting, you and Nathaniel, I wanted to just run a couple of ideas by you. I need to work with Jade and Stephanie on whether this is realistic based on the agenda topics list, but I essentially just started trying to plug into future study session items between now and the end of the year, these topics that rank high. So we aren't going to be, as a council, reviewing the food truck registration process, but we can update you on the plan for that. We plan to use a lean process, and that should be our first project as our staff goes through Peak Academy for the city of Denver. And so Tim Dodd will be leading that. So we'll just give you an update on the plan for that. But also on October 26th, we could have discussion of strategies to achieve water sustainability. Now, I say that after I sent this to you, Mayor. I also sent it to Peter and directors who are responsible for this. Peter says he has never known what this goal means. So I think we need to, and neither did I, and neither did Tim. So I think probably we need to, maybe this is a matter of information to ask you on that.
You know, I don't know what it means either. I think it highlights a misunderstanding within our council, so it's probably a really good thing to talk about.
Yes. It was under that sustainability tab.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, and we might want to ask Member Wink what she might mean, because I think she could be the one who put that up there.
Yes.
I'm not sure it's her word choice or not, but she might have some ideas around it because of water now. But I do think that a robust conversation about our water, where it comes from, what is our capacity, would be really smart to do with this council, because it's, I'm going to go off and not that I matter that much, but I have the longest experience with some of this, and I think we haven't had these conversations because there's a lot of people who've been on for a while. So I think it's really good to do that, something around water and where, what our capacity is.
All right, great. Again, I was not taking into account the board and commission interviews, so these dates are not correct. But in November, we could talk about information regarding our new asset management programs. You may recall from the survey in your strategic plan, one of them is maximizing the life cycle of current buildings. We really think that lends itself to a larger discussion of asset management. And we now have 2 full-time asset management folks, one in South Platte Renew and one in Public Works. And then discussion of sustainability strategies and programs to support energy efficiency and create a culture of sustainability. Both of those, we combined 2 strategic plan goals into one discussion topic that we could have us and community development present. Later on, discussion of strategies regarding to retain small business and improve business climate. Those both ranked very high, I think 100%. And then in December, rounding that out with strategies to improve transportation safety and walkability, including addressing crosswalk safety concerns, and discussion of current and future strategies to ensure resident safety in Inglewood. This one, I wanted to have a conversation with you all and the police chief. This may actually be covered in essence through the police task force, but there is a broader discussion that could be had. And I would actually recommend we do that after the first of the year instead of December, but wanted to check with you all.
That makes sense, because it'd be good to hear what they come up with. And there may be some areas that, they really weren't tasked to do as much, or didn't feel, I don't know what you're talking about in the area of neighborhoods. And
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been listening in on your meetings at all. Is there a conversation about safety in neighborhoods and break-ins and things like that?
There's really not, but I thought in terms of getting another big presentation out of the department that's been cranking them out every week.
Yeah.
I'd prefer if we gave them a little break in December.
Oh, that makes total sense. That makes sense. I'm totally in agreement with that. And then maybe we can work with the neighborhood folks like Madeline Hinkfest on that, because my neighborhood, we were just out talking, and then there's a second neighborhood too that's had some break-ins with cars and just your typical crime around, home ownership and apartment buildings and stuff like that. It seems like there could be some good neighborhood strategies on keeping people.
That sounds great. Well, with your permission, obviously we need to work out these dates with the departments too on what they can and can't do. But if that would cover, again, moving that police one maybe to January, but that would get all of your top ranked items from the survey into a study session, almost by the end of the year. So if you don't mind us working with Jade and Stephanie on that, we can start plugging those in maybe.
I think that sounds good. You just have to move the 14th off and then move the 9th up, or move it over. So,
right.
Yeah. One thing that isn't on this list that I've brought up that I know wasn't really voted on is and this may come out after the homeless study stuff is done, but the use of marijuana taxing for social oriented programming. And maybe that just will wrap into that at the same time. Is that a strategy we should use, or we just don't worry about it? It's just a general budget. We keep pulling things or what, but sometime down the line, I would like us to have a conversation. I think others would agree. I think we'd have enough. Don't you think, Nathaniel?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, Tim actually mentioned that should be, one of the focus areas of the retreat. And I think he's right on that. Not only funding, but just our general approach to homelessness. Because we should have the studies and be well underway for, the strategic plan by then.
Yes.
Okay, we'll make a note of that.
Mayor, one last thing before we go. I need to get a physical signature from you. It's a document that needs me to notarize.
Okay.
So I'll connect with you just to see if I could just swing by and get that from you at some point. I know you've got a really busy schedule.
Yeah. Would you have a deadline on that this week?
Just we've got time, but I just don't want to forget to get it done. So.
Friday I'll probably be home all day.
Okay.
I can also swing by if that's helpful.
Let's just connect. I just didn't want to forget to bring it up because I want to make sure I capture you when you're available. So.
And Linda, of course, you heard me gasp in horror when you said at home, and I just remember that box that you left for me over the weekend that I never picked up.
Is it still out there?
It has. Well, unless it's been picked up by someone else, I did not pick it up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I better go get it. I don't go out that way. I go out the garage, so I probably never noticed. Joel's probably wondering why it's still there. It might have water in it from the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sprinkler.
Well, Stephanie, would you be able to go by this week? To
get the signature?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just
We'll just exchange it at that point. Yeah, I'll bring it in. It's got FEMA papers in it. That's what I'm most worried about. So again, they were registered things. So I hope it's not anything. We already did the flood stuff, so I'm hoping everything's all in order.
Yes, it is. It is.
But they only send it to me. I don't know why they don't send it to Maria.
All right. I think that's all we've got.
All right. Anything else? Nathaniel, do you have anything?
I don't.
That's kind of a resigned statement. I don't either.
No, it's actually kind of surprising. I was looking at it, I didn't write anything down, so.
Yeah. I don't see anything either. Okie doke. I think we're done. It is now 8:27 and this mayor manager meeting is over. Adjourned.
Hi,
Have a
everyone.
good week,
Have a good
everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.